Sorry. This is funny. It's good, but it's funny. Should like to. Okay. Greetings and happy holidays. This is your host Lavinia Dasani, and in today's video we are going to be taking on chapter 5 of Snowblind by author Cassie Miles. So if you haven't listened to chapter 4 yet, the link will be right above here. Just go ahead and click on it. Otherwise, the link for the book itself will be in the description below if you so want to check it out. On another note, I had a quick small idea. If some of you readers out there want to get the book and just read with me, either along with me or on your own time, either or, just get the book, send me a DM or just comment down below. I will be checking the comment every now and then and we can just read together. Or better yet, if you are okay with filming yourself, I can just take bits and pieces of each of you reading like a few lines or whatever not, and just compile it into my video so that we can have different people reading the same chapter. It's something to do in 2020, I believe, with us being in the house and everything. But other than that, I don't think I have anything special to advertise. So let's get into the book. So grab yourself your cup of tea or coffee and let's dive in. Hi and welcome back. So before we get right into the story, I just wanted to ask you guys, how far along are you on your Christmas decoration or whatever holidays you're celebrating in December? Do you have any specific holidays you're celebrating? If you do, comment to let me know. Otherwise, send me a picture of your Christmas decoration. My theme for this year is red and gold for my room. And yeah, I believe my living room is red and gold too. So the picture for my Christmas tree will be on my Instagram or Facebook. My social media link is in the description below, so go ahead and check out my Christmas decoration and send me yours. Like, I'm a very enthusiastic Christmas person, so as you can see from here. But yeah, send me your decoration. I want to see how far along are you. I know with 2020 we have to stay in and everything, and I'm doing that too, so let's just have a small community of doing as best as we can from inside of the house. And yeah, that's it. So we'll get back into the story. Chapter 4, they were basically just in the apartment. Sasha and the deputy was in the apartment talking about the case a bit, and then she had a small meltdown. There was not anything too big, just giving us a chemistry link between the two characters, which is good. It's not, I mean, it's even at chapter 4, so I won't say it's too quick, so that's good. Yeah, I don't think I have any other impression to say about that. So let's see what happened in chapter 5. I'm kind of excited to see what happens. Are they gonna be talking about the dead body more, or is the deputy going to get scolded at with the sheriff for taking the case when there's not actually a case yet? So let's see what happens. Chapter 5. The next morning, Sasha put on a black pinstripe pantsuit, ankle-length chunky heel boots, and a brave face. After her breakdown last night, she felt ready to face the day. Being with Brady had helped. Not that he had treated her like a helpless little thing, which she would have hated, nor had he been inappropriate in any way, which was kind of disappointing. We can see where her train of thoughts are going right here. Naughty, naughty little Sasha. He was sexy without meaning to. She wouldn't have objected to a kiss or two. Usually, she wasn't the kind of woman who threw herself into the arms of the nearest willing male, in spite of what her obnoxious brother thought. But Brady brought out the trashy Sasha in her. Trashy Sasha. Such freaking mouthful to say. Trashy Sasha. Too much S there. In the condo bathroom, she applied mascara to her pale lashes and told herself that she was glad that he hadn't taken advantage. He was different. Brady believed her, and that made all the difference. She checked the time on her cell phone. In 15 minutes, Brady would stop by to pick her up. He still had concerns about her safety and wanted to drive her to her meeting with the 4 investors, and she was excited to see him. As for the meeting, not so much. It'd be great if the partners treated her the way they usually did, barely noticing her existence. But she feared they'd be critical about her behavior last night, accusing her of not acting in the best interest of the result. Applying a smooth coat of lipstick, she stared at her reflection in the bathroom window and said, "I can't handle this." Her cell phone on the bathroom counter buzzed. She read a text message from Damien that instructed her to conference with him. In the kitchen, she opened her laptop and prepared for the worst. Damien Lugin's handsome face filled the screen. His raven black hair was combed back from his forehead. He was clean-shaven and ready for work in a white shirt with a crisp collar and a silk necktie. Dang, sorry guys, it seems like I'm having a bit of problem reading. See? Having problem talking, pretty much, today. And I'm still on page 1. What the heck? Sorry, you have to bear with it, I guess. What the hell were you thinking? He growled. It was so not what she wanted to hear. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Spying on the hotel through binoculars? Unfortunately, he had it right. Why would you do that? She didn't even try to explain. I witnessed an assault, a possible murder. And then you trips? I'm not sure how you pronounce that. I'll need to look it up. But I'm gonna write the word on the screen for you to read. I'm just gonna pronounce it. Traipsed over, like walking over, to the hotel. And so, going back to the sentence. And then, you tripped over to the hotel and got everybody walked up. By everybody, I'm guessing you mean Mr. Reinhardt? Damn right I mean Reinhardt. He's one of my most important clients. And you brought a cop at his doorstep? Damien hadn't asked if she was alright or if she needed anything at the corporate condo. But then again, that really wasn't his problem. She was his assistant, and her job was to fulfill his need in the investors' meeting. Last night, she said, I was working with the police, following a lead. You're not a cop, Sasha. His dark eyes glared at her with such intensity that she thought his anger might melt a computer screen. I expect more from you. You won't be disappointed, she said. I'm prepared for the meeting today. If anyone asks about last night, I want you to tell them that it's being handled by local law enforcement. You're not to be involved in any way. Is that clear? I understand. But she couldn't promise not to be part of the investigation. Witnessing a crime meant she had an obligation to help in identifying the killer, or in this case, the victim. Hoping to avoid more instruction, she changed the topic. How is Mr. Westfield's family? Damien leaned away from the computer screen and adjusted the wind-snow knot on his necktie, a move that she'd come to recognize as a styling technique. When he played with his tie, it meant he wasn't telling the whole story. The family is, of course, devastated by his unfortunate death. Virgil P. Westfield was in his 90s, but relatively healthy. He had several good years left. Sasha tried to guess what Damien wasn't saying. Are the police investigating his fall down the staircase? They are, he admitted, and you're not to share that information with anyone, especially not the Arcadia investors. She hadn't been aware of a connection between Westfield and the people who founded the ski resort, but there were frequent crossovers among the wealthy clients of Samuel, Sorensen and Smith. Damien also represented Virgil's primary heir, a nephew. Are there any suspects? Let's just say that we're looking at the potential for many believable hours. That was a juicy tidbit. Was the heir a suspect? For a minute, she wished she was back in Denver, working on this case with Damien. If the nephew was charged with murder, the trial would turn into a free-ring circus. Given that Westfield was a well-known eccentric and philanthropist who had left a substantial bequest to a feral cat shelter. Criminal cases were much more interesting than property disputes and corporate law. I'll stay in touch today, she said. No more drama, he said before he closed his window and disappeared from the screen. No more drama. The last thing she wanted was more drama, was more trouble. Which is drama, so Tucked into the passenger seat of Brady's SUV, she fastened her seatbelt and watched as he took off his cowboy hat and placed it on the center console. He looked good in the morning, not all slick and polished like Diane, but healthy, with an outdoorsy tan and interesting crinkles at the corners of his greenish-brown eyes. She wondered how old he was. Maybe 30. Maybe the perfect age for her. She's gonna be thinking of marriage very soon for all we know. He gave her a warm grin. You look very professional. She turned up the fury collar on her parka. That's what I was going for. I was going to say pretty. I like the way you've got Your hair pulled up back in a bun. A chiffon, she corrected, which is just like a bun, only French. And I especially like this. When he reached over and tucked an escape tendril behind her ear, his fingers grazed her cheek. Your hair is a little out of control. Hey, just like mine. Like me? His unexpected touch sent a spark of electricity through her. She pushed the sensation out of her mind. They weren't on a date, she continued. I'm a little out of control, but very professional. If you say so. He drove through the condo parking lot and turned onto the main road. Today his features were more relaxed, and his smile appeared more frequently. The optimism she'd felt when she first came to Arcadia returned full force. Who could be calm on a blue sky with sunlight glistening on the snow? Anything new on the investigation? She asked, even though Damien had specifically told her not to get involved. The sheriff doesn't want anything to do with it. He says looking into a murder without a body is a fool's errand. Then he said, it was my assignment, I guess that makes me the fool. Ouch. It's not so painful, he said. I'd rather be hanging out at the hotel than writing up speeding tickets. If I planned it right, I might even find a reason to investigate on the ski slope. Are you a skier or snowboarder? Both, he said. You? Neither. Are you a Colorado transplant? I'm a native, born in Denver, the youngest of five kids. Our family moved around a bit when my dad changed job, but I came back here for college. I just never got into skiing. Lift tickets are too expensive. So you're a city girl. But I'm in pretty good shape, thanks to a corporate membership in a downtown Denver gym. She took regular yoga class and weight training. Neither of those indoor exercises will impress Brady. I do a little figure skating. You can show me. That's where we're headed, right? The brand new Arcadia ice rink. As if I'd get on ice skates in front of Cathy Cook. Sasha scoffed at the thought. Miss Cook had won tons of championships. She was with the Ice Capades. Cathy Cook was one of the 4 investors. Her agenda for the Arcadia development had been crystal clear from the start. She wanted a world-class ice skating rink capable of hosting international events and rivaling the facilities in Colorado Springs, where many athletes trained. The first meeting was scheduled to be held in the owner's box overlooking the ice. Construction costs on the rink with stadium seating had gone over budget, and Sasha suspected that Miss Cook intended to placate the other 3 business investors by showing how well her ideas had turned out. The drive took them past the ski lodge and hotel into the town. At 8:35, several vehicles were parked at a slant on the wide main street that split the town of Arcadia. Unlike the gleaming new facilities for the lodge and hotel, the town was plain and somewhat shabby, with storefronts on either side of the street and snow piled up to the curbs. Brady pointed out the Kettle Diner. They have really good banana pancakes. Fun fact, I never had banana pancakes before. But I did have blueberry pancakes and those were good. I'm not really a fruit person, but I love bananas. Why is that? I like something I can peel. Me too. Should like to... Okay. I knew something like this was coming. I mean, it's funny, but I was expecting something like that. Let's get back to that. She'd like to peel him, starting with his hat and working her way all the... Sorry. This is funny. It's good, but it's funny. Let's get back to it. She'd like to peel him and starting with his hat and working her way all the way to his boots. Before she got completely sidetracked with that fantasy, she looked over at the small grocery store on the corner. I should stop there, she said. I need some basic food supplies for the condo. We'll do that after your meeting. I'll be back at the rink at noon to pick you up. Having him chauffeur her around seemed like a huge inconvenience to him, especially on a gorgeous day when she couldn't imagine anything bad happening. Maybe I should arrange for a rental car. He pulled up at a four-way stop and turned toward her. Until we know what's going on, I'm your bodyguard. You don't leave your condo without me. Do you really think that's necessary? I'm not taking any chances with your safety. She didn't bother arguing. His stern voice convinced her that he was joking. She remembered how she felt last night in his arms, safe, secure, and protected. I've never had a bodyguard before. Then we're even. I've never needed to protect anyone 24/7. Really? Arcadia isn't like the big city. The last time we had an unsolved murder up here was over 10 years ago. That was before I became a deputy. You were a cowboy? She picked up his hat and would have put it on but didn't want to mess her chiffon. I never stopped being a cowboy. What does that mean? He combed through his wavy hair again. Once a cowboy, always a cowboy is who I am. Growing up on a ranch is different than the city. The pace is slow, but there's always plenty to do. You learn to watch the sky and read the clouds to know when it's going to rain or to snow. As soon as I could walk, I was on a horse. What about friends? I mentioned the horse. It sounds lonesome, she said. I spend plenty of time alone. I like the quiet. On the outskirts of town, she spotted Arcadia Ice Arena, a dome-white building with waffle pattern and arched support across the front. A marquee in front welcomed new guests to the grand opening this weekend, featuring a special show by Kathy Cook. The large parking lot in front had been snowplowed. Only a few of the vehicles, including an extra-long Hummer, were parked at the sidewalk leading to the entrance. As Brady drove closer, she felt a nervous prickling at the nape of her neck, under her chiffon. A shiver trickled down her spine. She glanced to the left and to the right. She saw a maintenance man with a shovel and the driver for the Hummer, who leaned against the bumper. Keeping her nerves to herself might have been prudent, but she didn't want to take any chances. I've got that feeling again, she said. It's like somebody is watching me. Brady leaned forward and looked across the front. I'll find an entrance that's closer. He drove parallel to the sidewalk until they were beside the young man wearing a parka with an arm patch indicating he was maintenance. Is there a back entrance to the arena? Brady asked through the open window of his SUV. Yep, but it's locked. I'll have to open it with my key. Hop in. With the maintenance man in the back seat, Brady circles the parking lot to the less impressive rear of the arena. The vehicles parked in this area were trucks and unwashed cars. Brady turned to her. I'll escort you inside. Stay in the car until I open your door. Though her feeling of apprehension lingered, she needed to be on time for the meeting. She clenched the briefcase holding her laptop and note-taking equipment against her chest. We have to hurry. I need to find the owner's box. The maintenance man said, I can show you where it is. You go first, Brady told him. We'll follow. After the maintenance man unlocked the rear door, Brady rushed her into a huge kitchen with gleaming appliances and stainless steel prep tables. She recognized the chef from the hotel who made the Chinese food for Sam Moreno. He was arguing with a tall man dressed in a black chef's jacket. Sasha checked her wristwatch. 6 minutes until the meeting was supposed to start. She nudged the maintenance man and said, Which way do we go? Out that door, he pointed. They dashed through the swinging door from the kitchen into another room and then into a concrete corridor that curved, following the outer edge of the arena. At the far end of the curve, she glimpsed a figure dressed all in black. He had something in his hand, a gun. Brady stepped in front of her. His weapon was in his hand. Don't move, he shouted. Sheriff Department. The figure disappeared. And that's it for today. I do hope you enjoyed it. Left us at a good cliffhanger here. I'll see you next time, and until then, why not hit that like button and subscribe, as well as turn on that bell notification to know when I post next. Otherwise, I do hope you enjoyed this video. I did notice while I was reading that I made much more mistakes this time, which I don't know why I was having so much trouble talking today. I guess, I don't know, I was just having a problem talking and reading at the same time. But I hope you did enjoy it. See? Problem talking. And it wasn't too much of trying to understand what I was saying. And like I said, link of the book is in the description below. And you can always comment to let me know how I'm doing, if you're able to understand me, and how you're liking those videos. What do you think is gonna happen next in the book? But if you have the book, please don't spoil it, because I'm reading with you guys, so I don't know what's happening next. Because when I'm reading here, it's my first time reading too, so don't spoil it. Just pitch your idea to let me know. But otherwise, that's it for today. And until next time, big kisses.